Genesis and Moses in the Bhavishya Purana. The Bhavishya Purana is an ancient Sanskrit text originally spoken by Veda Vyasa around 3000 BCE and later by Sutta Goswami. The scripture means the history of the future, and it's a fascinating, sometimes controversial work. Let me explain. Let's dive into the Bhavishya Purana Pratisarga Pallava section, chapters 4 to 7. First, we learn that Adama Muni fathered a man named Adama. Sutta Goswami then says, "In the eastern side of Pradam, major city, there is a God-given forest. Adam was staying there under a sinful tree and was eager to see his wife, Havyavati. Kali quickly came there, assuming the form of a serpent. He cheated them, and they disobeyed Lord Vishnu. The husband ate the forbidden fruit of the sinful tree. Afterwards they had sons, and all of them became Malechas. Adama's duration of life was 930 years. Adama and Havyavati are obviously the same as the Adam and Eve in the Hebrew Bible. 930 years is the same for both Adams, but in the Bhavishya Purana they were not the first humans, but rather parents of a new race who rejected Vedic culture, ate meat, and left their rural paradise. Thus, their descendants became influential Malechas in lands to the west. The Kali Yuga, the age of spiritual decline, had begun. Note there is no certainty amongst scholars about the location of the beautiful Garden of Eden. In fact, a number have concluded that Eden was somewhere in Kashmir. We then learn from the Bhavishya Purana that a son of Adam was named Svet, and he lived 912 years. Compare that to the biblical Seth, who also lived that long. Following Svet, 4 generations of kings are listed, with similar names to the biblical ones. We then read about the 5th generation. Hamuk was devoted to Lord Vishnu, and offering oblations of fruits, he achieved salvation. He ruled 365 years and went to heaven, being engaged in Malecha Dham. He is parallel to the biblical Enoch. Having good behaviour, wisdom, qualities like a Brahmin, and the worship of God, these things are called Malecha Dham. The great souls have declared that the Dharma of the Malecha is devotion to God, worship of fire, non-violence, austerity, and control of the senses. We can assume that this is a reference to respectable religious practices of non-Indians. Now let's move on 3 generations. Nyuha, Noah, ruled for 500 years. He had 3 sons named Sim, Sam, and Bhav. Nyuha was a devotee of Lord Vishnu. Once the Lord appeared in Nyuha's dream, saying, "My dear Nyuha, please listen. There will be a devastation on the 7th day. Therefore, you have to very quickly make a big boat and climb aboard. O chief of the devotees, you will be celebrated as a great king." Then he made a strong boat which was 300 feet long, 50 feet wide, and 30 feet high. It was beautiful, and all living entities could take shelter in it. Nyuha himself then rode in it, meditating on Lord Vishnu. Lord Indra summoned the devastating cloud, Sambartika, and poured heavy rain continuously for 40 days. The whole of Bharatvarsh, India, was flooded. Only Visala Bhadrakashram, Badrinath, was not submerged. There were 80,000 holy men there who joined with King Nyuha and his family. All of them were saved, and everything else was destroyed. At that time, all the sages praised the eternal energy of Lord Vishnu. After 1 year, gradually the earth became visible. When the water completely dried up, King Nyuha returned home. The similarity to the biblical flood is striking, but note the Bhavishya Purana does not describe a global flood. The green areas on this map show the most flood-prone areas of India today. So the concept of ancient flood disasters in such areas is feasible. So did something like this happen around 2000 BCE? Substantial evidence does point to a terrible drought around then, followed by devastating local floods in the Indus Valley civilization. After the flooding destroyed it, many peoples migrated west into Mesopotamia and the Middle East in general, taking their stories and cultures with them. We find records of floods in literatures across the ancient world. Some accounts seem to incorporate the Bhavishya Purana, which describes a flood that engulfed the entire earth. But that happened millions of years ago. Anyway, Sutta Goswami continued. The Mleccha, King Nyuha, became attached to Lord Vishnu, and as a result the Lord increased his generation. He then created a language fit for the Mlecchas, unfavourable to the Vedas. He named it Brahma Bhasha, Brahmi language. Nyuha then named his sons differently as Sim, Ham and Yakut. Note that Noah's sons in Genesis are similarly named as Shem, Ham and Japheth. The name of their lands they ruled were known as Madi, Yunan, Stuvaloma, Tassa and Tirasa. Today those regions might be in today's northern Egypt, Greece, northern Europe, southern Egypt and southern Turkey. After Sutta Goswami lists the descendants of Ham and the regions they ruled, he adds, "Thus I have explained the generation of Mlecchas. The Mleccha language bears the curse of the goddess Sarasvati. Sanskrit is a language by which the whole of Bharatvash has been praised and glorified. Sanskrit is the oldest language in the world, but from the outset of Kali Yuga it has been on the decline. It is the mother of many languages, and not only North Indian ones like Bengali, Gujarati, Hindi and Punjabi, but also, for example, Nuristani languages and Old Persian. And Kashmiri is mainly Indo-Aryan, and the Indo-European languages run from the northern Indus subcontinent, the Iranian plateau, and to Europe. As people migrated away from the Indian region, gradually many local languages and cultures adapted and changed. Interestingly, the Greek philosopher Aristotle claimed that the ancestors of the Jews, pious Hebrews, migrated to the Middle East from India. Hence the name Abraham, who was born as Abram, can be traced to the word Brahman or Hindu priest. The Purana continues. When the Kali Yuga passed 2,000 years, the dynasty of Mlecchas increased. They created many paths to grow, and gradually the whole earth became full of Mlecchas. The spiritual master and teacher of the Mlecchas was named Musa, or Moses. He was residing on the bank of the river Sarasvati, and he spread his doctrine throughout the whole world. There's no evidence that Moses went to India, but he did live for 120 years, so who knows? Moses is of course a key figure not only in Judaism, but also Christianity, Islam and the Baha'i faith. Interestingly, note that in the Rig Veda, Agni, the Vedic god of fire, is praised as Yahweh, or Great Force, and Yahweh is the name of God that came to Moses in the form of a burning bush. But back to the text. Shaunaka Rishi inquired, "Please tell us, what was the reason that the Mlecchas did not arrive in Brahmavarta, around the ancient Sarasvati and Drishadvati rivers?" Sutta Goswami answered that one of the sons of the great Kashyapa Muni went to Kashmir and worshipped Sarasvati in order to develop his knowledge of Sanskrit. Elsewhere in the Bhavishya Purana, we read that the descendants of Kashyapa then left Kashmir and revitalized the Vedic culture by migrating south into other parts of India. This is very different from the misleading Aryan invasion theory. This migration served to limit foreign influence in India at the time. Note that Sanskrit has little relationship with the ancient Semitic languages like Akkadian. But languages aside, what is the purpose and conclusion of this presentation? Well, I argue that the similarities that exist between Hindu and Judaic cultures are due to common origins tracing back at least 4,000 years. So, I do hope this serves to promote mutual understanding, love, and respect. Om Shalom, Om Shanti.